Bethany Manctalo here. Welcome to our Millwall fan show with some new voices, but the same focus. Just everything Millwall. Enjoy!
Hello and welcome to the 2024-25 series of Millwall's No One Likes Us Talkings, our Millwall fan show. I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me are the No One Likes Us Talking team of Jeff Burnige, Stan Godwin and Henry Morgan.
Not everybody likes them, but they don't care.
Welcome back to this season, and our Millwall fan show is ahead of the first league fixture of the 2024-25 season at the Den this Saturday as we face Watford. We're glad to be back, one and all.
I certainly am.
Jeff, starting with you then, I'm pleased to see Neil Harris settled in for another season. How about you?
Very, very, very pleased. I'm a big fan. I think he should be appreciated more by a wider section of our fans. He is pretty popular with a big percentage, but there's always, isn't there, in most clubs and in society, there's always quite a significant proportion of people that want to be negative. But his record as a manager is fantastically good. For example, after he left us, he went to Cardiff, got them into the playoffs to get in the Premier League, with the highest points total they've had in recent history. Never matched it since. Doesn't get much credit for that, and I'm hoping he can do the same with us. It'll be tough this year, but I'm delighted he's back, yes.
Dan, what would you say about our last friendly and the new goalkeeper, Lucas Jensen, who looks to be the replacement for the late Mati Sarkic, who we sadly lost?
The goalkeeper, I'd seen him before and all when we played Gillingham down at Gillingham. But no, the goalkeeper, he struck me as okay. I mean, to be fair to him, he never had a lot to do, and what he had to do, he did perfectly okay. That'll be fine by me. I'm assuming this is the guy from Lincoln, isn't it? We're talking about, is he? And I'm assuming he's going to be the number one goalkeeper and not the guy from the borough at the moment.
Yeah,
right.
I presume so.
Yeah, so I've seen him twice. He's when he's had to do what he's had to do, he's done it okay. I mean, he's fairly tall, isn't he? So he's not going to get. He ain't going to have too much difficulty, I would have thought, with picking corners out the air or eyeballs out the air. As regards to the friendly against Southampton, the game was okay as far as I was concerned. I mean, see, when I go to watch a friendly game, especially if it's pre-season, I don't get too excited about it either way, because at the end of the day, it's all about fitness and systems and how this bloke fits in and does he fit in there and whatever. And if you go along there and you win the game, fine. I thought we played okay. I mean, Southampton are a good side, and they've proved that yet again, and I think they'll hold their own next season. But the game this Saturday is more important to me than the game last Saturday, because it's a league game and we got 3 points at stake. So so by definition, that's more important. But no, I thought we played okay. I mean, I wasn't, and from where I was sitting, I didn't hear anybody getting too excited about it either way as it goes. I mean, nobody weren't ranting and raving, but no, I thought we did all right.
Just you wait till this Saturday then. Henry, welcome back. We've missed you for some time. How do you think we've recruited?
Hey Myles, hey everyone. Lovely to be back. How do I think we've recruited? I think we've recruited pretty well. I think if we could get Jason Malumbi in, I think we would have done very well. There's no denying that Tanganga is a Premiership level defender. He's played in the Champions League. He played a lot of games, I know, in the Premiership too. But he's a proven player that we needed at the back last season very, very badly. I think that Macaulay Langstaff for me could be a very exciting prospect. I think the one question mark around him, well, I think there are two now, obviously with Harris talking about the toe injury that he's had surgery on. How's that going to heal? How's that going to maybe affect his game? Because you never know until it happens how players are going to come back from any kind of surgery or injury. And the second one is, can he step up from the goals that he scored, obviously, in the National League North, National League and League Two, which is where, you cannot shake a stick at him scoring a combined total of 115 goals in something like, I looked it up earlier today, 237 appearances. So, that is a fantastic ratio. If you look at our pedigree of getting those players from lower divisions, making them into good players, Steve Morrison, I'd go Lee Gregory, even though probably wasn't quite as prolific in the Championship he was. And, of course, Neil Harris coming from Cambridge City, and becoming our all-time scorer. So, we obviously had to make some replacements at goalkeeper as well that were kind of forced on us. If we could get Jason Malumbi, and I think that's a big if, but, people forget that Harris signed him originally. He's, he was the person that brought him in. He was a good player in that middle with Ryan Woods. And I think actually, if we had someone like George Saville next to him, he could be a great sign. So I think if we could bring him in, that would be phenomenal. But yeah, look, I think we've done as well as we could be, as could be expected with our budget.
Yeah. Just to add to what you were saying there, a lot of people saying, well, do we need another midfielder? Because we have obviously got quite a few midfielders, but sort of, we do for the depth, to be fair.
I completely agree. The one thing I was going to say is that I think our starting 11 can probably match any team. And if we put them out every single week, I think we'd probably have a good go at getting towards the top six. Our problem is the second someone picks up a few bookings, an injury here and there, and that's when we start to struggle. And so I completely agree. So look, I think, yes, because, Saville's not going to go on forever, is he? No. He's phenomenal, but we need to start looking to the future. And Malumbi's young. I believe he's something, is he 24, 25?
Henry, very important point about the age, because I agree with you that we've got some very good and underrated players, but really genuine players who can handle the Championship. But most of our key players that have kept us mostly in the top half of the Championship.
Yeah.
There's a few 30-somethings now that have been players.
Yeah, there are.
Hutchinson, Cooper, Wallace, Saville, Bradshaw. There's quite a few. So I think it is important as we build up the squad. And personally, I think that everyone's overlooking the fact that the loan market tends to go mad in the last week of the window, doesn't it?
Yeah, so Jeff, yes, it does.
Hopefully we'll recruit well, as we did last season in both windows. So the average age, yes, I do think we do underestimate sometimes our players, but we will need squad depth. We didn't have that as much as we would have liked last year. But in bringing in Malumbi, if you're going to play two central midfield players, and maybe we'll be playing three, you've got Saville, you've got Denor, you've got Billy Mitchell to come back, who's a big favourite of mine, much underrated.
Yeah,
and
good player.
You've got the sudden emergence of Alfie Massey. Hopefully, most years there's someone jumps out of the youth team, and he was an under-18 player last year. I think he barely played an under-21 game. He may not have even played one, because the under-18s were busy at the end of last season. But
they were.
In Spain and here, Neil appears to have really noticed him. And what did he get? 25 minutes on Saturday against Southampton? Very confident player. So we need to make sure he gets minutes, either with us or somewhere else, or maybe they'll just think the under-21s for at least half a season. But I'm not worried about bringing another midfield player, even if it, if it produces competition for places. I'm in favour. The question about where we would like to recruit, I think it's clear that you can never have too many strikers. We've had seasons where we've been a bit short when strikers have picked up little injuries or gone off the boil or not getting many chances. Yeah, you do need, I think, competition in that position. And that's the position that I suspect Neil would like to recruit again. Regarding Stan's point about the goalkeeper, I think he's right. I think Lucas Jensen will be the number one. The squad numbers are out, aren't they? And he's been given number one.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Jeff makes the point about, you can never have enough strikers and whatever. And I don't disagree with that. All right. The only thing is, you don't matter how many strikers that you've got, they've got to have the right sort of service. Because if they don't get the right sort of service, then you could have 5 up there. If they're not getting the right sort of service, they're not going to put it away. So to me, that's equally as important as having is meant they've got to be given the right sort of service.
Yeah, agree. Just to add to the potential Jason Malumbi signing as well, obviously, there's nothing concrete of like he is signing, it's just the interest that's there, and obviously Neil Harris signed him in the first place when he was here before. But, just to add to that, George Saville's out of contract in the summer as well. So, if he was to sign him, whether he'd be good for squad depth this season, but also could be an instant replacement for George Saville in next season. Yeah,
I mean, he seems to me, right? I mean, he was up there. He was a regular, wasn't he, for the last couple of seasons up at West Brom, Malumbi.
Yeah, picked up an injury, didn't he, last year?
Yeah, and then since then he's wasn't in the starting lineup after that. I mean, all right, he's probably on the bench, but yeah, I mean, if we can get him, all well and good. The bloke I'd like to get back, if we could, would be Longman as well, because I thought he was exceptional last year.
He's picked up an injury. It was released today. He picked up an injury, so I don't know.
We seem to be prone with injuries, don't we?
It's the loans in the last week. That's what we're going to be looking at. That's how we got Longman last year, wasn't it? At the last minute, I think it was. We'll wait and see.
We certainly will. We'll take a break there as well then and hear about our sponsors, G&M Motors.
Hi, this is Jess Tuffield from G&M Motors. Operating from a modern and purpose-built facility in Milton Road, Gravesend, G&M Motors offers a complete range of new Honda cars and services. As well as new Hondas, we have an extensive range of used cars, including ex-Motability cars from a variety of manufacturers. Specialising in new Honda cars, G&M Motors has been retailing quality new and used vehicles to the people of Kent and South East London for over 4 decades. We have been a Honda dealership since 1972 and are the country's longest serving supplier of this renowned marque. Conveniently sited just 2 miles from the A2, 10 miles from the M25 and Dartford Crossing, visitors to our showroom are assured a warm welcome from our experienced and friendly staff. Our facilities include an on-site workshop capable of providing full vehicle servicing and repairs, as well as an extensive parts department offering genuine Honda parts and accessories. The expertise of our skilled mechanics is not limited to just Hondas, but extends to most makes and models of motor vehicles. Whatever your motoring needs, visit us at G&M Motors today. The newly extended hours of our G&M headquarters means that you can contact us from 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. on weekdays and 9 a.m. till 6 p.m. on Saturdays. To contact us, call us today on 01474 365 026.
Thank you, Jess. Debbie Julian's here. Don't forget to call Jess on 01474 365 026. G&M Motors have been dear friends of the Julians family for over 4 decades now. From my dad Lenny to me, Debbie, Lions together.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Jeff Burnige, Stan Godwin and Henry Morgan. Many thanks to our sponsor G&M Motors, while I'll check the Hondas out and see what else they have on site at Gravesend. Our first guest of the evening is a star of Millwall TV and will be preeminent on our extensive coverage provided by Sky this season. He remains on Norwich City's risk register for furnace breakage at Carrow Road. He's also famed for getting closer to Rachel Riley than Jeff Burnige has. I didn't write this, by the way. Also, he is well known for sharing his experience with epilepsy to raise awareness for an understanding of the condition. Let's say no more and welcome Karl Bates. Hello, Karl. You're right, mate.
I am fine, and thank you for the compliment. Thank you for the compliment, insult, and kind welcome. I'm not really sure. Some nice things there and some interesting ones, but yeah.
Hello.
Good evening to you all.
Jeff
Hello,
here.
Jeff.
Hello, Karl.
Hello, mate.
To be honest, I think my level's a bit lower than Rachel Riley, so
that is correct.
Karl, another season in the Championship looms large. Before I hand you over to the panel, and thanks to a demanding Sky schedule introduction, you'll make your journeys at unusual times to provide Millwall commentary. Will this present some challenges for you?
It will, yes, and it's mainly these 12:30 kickoffs. To be honest with you, when it's at the Den, that's not a bad thing for me personally, because it's just an early start, but you're home for the evening. But for example, Hull City 12:30 kickoff. Me and the boys get there 3 hours before kickoff, so we've got to go up on the Friday night. So yeah, it definitely presents its challenges for us, and there's a lot of games during the season, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more. But ours isn't the problem. It's the fans that are being held to account due to TV money. And I think it's a shame that I don't blame the club at all. At the end of the day, it's a hell of a lot of money being put their way by Sky Television, etc. But from a fan's point of view, if you're a season ticket holder or just generally going to games, how do you plan your match day when 2-3 weeks, maybe a month beforehand, suddenly, it's going to be on the Friday night, or it's going to be a Saturday 5:30, or it's going to be whatever. So no, I think it's going to be a bit of a rough ride for people, and it's going to be tough. Some people are going to miss out on games purely because of a change in time, and that's sad. At the end of the day, football's not the same without fans in the ground. You want people. For me, watching the game, the atmosphere is far more important than watching it on the television. There's not a better sight than the ball hitting the back of the net with a packed crowd behind it. You don't want people to be sitting at home watching the telly. You want them to be at the game. So let's remember that.
Yeah, definitely.
Karl, it's Jeff here. Yes, you make a good point about the money, and the fact of the matter is, without this enhanced Sky money, we probably wouldn't have Japhet Tanganga, would we? It's something that we have to put up with, and I think people will gradually get used to it. Football fans, football crowds in general, take their time to get used to new things, don't they? So we're still moaning about VAR 3 years in.
Oh, I'll never stop moaning about that one.
Well, I'm a fan, so.
That's our friendship ended, Jeff. But yeah.
Well, I like justice, and I've always suspected that Millwall got slightly the wrong end of most refereeing decisions. So
I'm sure
VAR, I'd be very happy if we had VAR in the Championship. But I think Jake Cooper might get the odd goal.
Well, he did with his arm against Everton, and VAR would have cancelled it. So, there's always answers that go the other way.
So, Karl, what are you looking forward to in terms of where you're going? Leaving aside kick-off times, and I will not be going to Hull on Friday night. The game's on the 24th, isn't it? End of August.
Yes.
Yeah. I shall happily watch that on the TV. But anywhere in particular that you're really looking forward to going?
I think Sheffield United. I enjoy going to Bramall Lane. The atmosphere is fantastic. I think both clubs have a lot in common. With the fans, I think they're a very similar ilk, cut from the same cloth as Millwall. They always get a good atmosphere there. We've had some great games there. Jake Cooper is dreaded by every Sheffield United fan. I really enjoy going there. And obviously Leeds as well, both times home and away. They're always interesting encounters. So I'd say those two would be the main ones I'm looking forward to.
Like all of us, you were just as devastated by Mati Sarkic's untimely passing. He will be remembered fondly this Saturday. Lucas Jensen has come in from Lincoln to fill the void, and I understand his appearance against Southampton was your first experience of seeing him in action. What was your first impressions?
Well, first of all, I think it's been a really, really tough time for everybody associated with the club due to Mati's untimely passing. It's been a big shock to everybody, and I was really moved when I saw the social media post today where you're seeing the tribute that's being put up at the Den, and I think it'll be a really emotional time before kick-off against Watford. And I think everybody will be moved within the ground, and that'll be a great billet for the team and the club as a whole to try and get the 3 points as a tribute to him.
Mm-hmm.
In regards, Lucas, I met him personally during the club's media and open training session day. He is an imposing figure, to put it mildly. He's a really nice guy, really soft and kind, but he is enormous, and he would make a goal look very small very quickly. And I was really impressed with him. Yes, his error did cost us the game, but without him, the game would have been gone anyway. He pulled off 2 or 3 really good saves. What I really liked about them as well was I don't think the correct term really, the power that he got in some of the saves. I can't think of the correct terminology or what wording I want to use, but the fact that he didn't just palm the ball away. It was a good, strong, solid fist or palm where he was getting it good distances away. They were solid saves, confident saves, and I liked that about him. So, no, I think we've picked a really good one between the sticks. So, yeah, a good signing from Neil.
Yeah. Hey, Carl, Henry here. Good to speak to you again, mate. From our impressive youngsters, who are you expecting to make the biggest impression this season and maybe might become a first-team regular?
Yeah, so that's a tough one.
Difficult one, yeah.
Well, it is, in case any of them hear it. I would say, being honest, from what I've seen and just the type of player that he is, I would maybe say Idemo, just because of that pace. I think Romain has got so much skill. Again, not trying to referring back. And one thing I will say about Romain, by the way, he is just like a small child who loves football. When we were doing the media bits and bobs and they're being interviewed by local radio and signing footballs and doing all the bits and bobs for social media, the split second he finished, he was grabbing the ball and kicking it around and doing flick-ups and trying shots and doing this. All the other players were just standing having a chat. He was off like a child. It was great to see. It was really nice to see somebody who just basically loved his football. If we hadn't have been there, he'd have been doing exactly the same. So, yeah, I mean, he has got skill in abundance. But for me, I think Idemo could have a huge impact for Millwall, just the way I think Neil will want to set up away from home, looking to maybe to break on teams.
Yeah.
Him coming on around the hour mark, perhaps. And he'd be your worst nightmare as a defender. He's very direct. He doesn't have to bamboozle you with skill. If there's any gap behind the fullback, good luck catching him. Once he gets his foot down, there's absolutely no... Yeah, I mean, we saw that against Middlesbrough first game last season, didn't we, where he just lured the centre-half in and then off he went. And you're never going to have him. And he created the winner. So, yeah, but for both of them, I think will do well this season. But, yeah, Idemo especially for me, I think is the one to watch.
Carl, interesting thoughts there. You mentioned coming on, so perhaps Neil does see him initially as an impact sub. Wouldn't be a shock to see Watmore start and Idemo to come on. That we've done that a few times. I agree with what you say about Romain. It's important for him, that he plays a lot of games this season. He's got to start making a big impression if he's going to go right to the top. I think he is capable. But what was your first impressions of Alfie Massey?
Good, confident. One thing I always like to see is a player, irrespective of age, wanting the ball, not worried about pressure. Some people would like, I best just make a nice impression. I'll just take it. Just easy layoffs. Just do this. Just do that. He wanted to impose himself on the game, which I like to see, and confidence. I'm not going to lie to you and say I've seen a huge amount of him because I haven't. But talking to players around him and talking to our sort of team that do watch a lot of the other games that Millwall play in, they've high hopes for him because of what I've alluded to. That confidence, and for a young man, is vital. You need to stand up and be counted, especially at Millwall, especially under Neil. You need to stand out, and I thought he did that. So I thought he did well.
It's interesting because Neil has got an eye for giving young players encouragement. He doesn't always reward them with easy selections; they have to work for it. But Alfie's an interesting one. As far as I can recall, he never played an under-21 game last season. He's jumped straight from the under-18s, where he was very good, straight into the first-team pool. I think we named 9 subs this season, don't we? So I think we could pretty well be sure he'll be on the bench on Saturday. So, yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of him in the under-18s, and we actually offered 5 of that team that were in their second year and final year of scholarship. We have offered 5, 4 have signed, and we're still waiting to see what happens with Josh Stevenson. Looks like he may be going somewhere. But Alfie did very well in that team. He's tall, he's rangy, he gets about. But I'm a student of under-18 football, but I'm quite amazed at the immediate impact he's had when he's been given a chance.
Well, I think the really good thing is that it shows that the under-18s, under-21s, etc., are all talking to each other. There's a good, clean chain between them where they're all filtering through. These guys have got potential. And I'm sure Neil will be saying, right, I'm looking for this type of player. Who have we got? Who do we think is going to come through? Who do we think can make the grade? And that'll be filtering up, and that'll be the same from the under-18s to whichever they feel is their natural progression. They'll be talking to the next manager up the food chain. Is he ready to make the grade? Yes. Right, let's bring him in. And as you say, for him to jump a level shows the confidence that the club has in him and himself as well. That he, from what we've seen of him, or from what I've seen of him, he doesn't even draw on breath. It's not something that's worried him. It's almost in his mind, well, yeah, this is where I'm meant to be. I'm not surprised by this. I expected this. I've worked hard for this, and I'm going to prove to everybody this was the right move by everybody involved.
How much of a coup do you think it is that we've been able to bring Tanganga back on a permanent basis? And not only that, but what's your impressions of the Langstaff signing as well?
I think, well, first of all, in regards Jaffet, a fan's favourite already. I think that he has such an iconic song for a centre-half. Says it all. You know, not many centre-halves have a song for them, and I'm sure that'll be sung loud and proud the minute he's back from suspension. And I think it's a very good signing. You know, we've got the tried and tested, your Hutches, your Muzzers, your Coops. You know, you know what you're going to get from them. And Lenny being so versatile, depending if it's 4-4-2, if it's a 5. Danny McNamara's done exceptionally well when he's played left or right wing back or right back. So it's going to be tough for Lenny in that defence. If we say, for example, Danny McNamara has played very well at fullback. If Tanganga and Coops are together, does that mean Lenny finally goes back to centre midfield? Who knows? So that for me will be fascinating. I'm looking forward to seeing how Neil rejigs that. From a Langstaff perspective, his record is truly incredible. The amount of goals that he scored, 3 top scorers in 3 different leagues in 3 consecutive seasons, says it all. He has an eye for goal. You know, the facts are there. My only concern will be the supply line. At the moment, we're just lacking that somebody that can just pick a hole in the defence, just somebody that can just pick that pass and open up a side. We've got no end of quality in regards to the engine room, winning the ball back, working back hard, making it difficult for the opposition. But do we have that player that can feed a Bradshaw, a Nisbet, a Langstaff? We've got finishers up there, but my worry is, can we get them enough service, quality balls in for them to do what they do best, which is score? You don't want to see Langstaff, Bradders, Nisbet running around as a lone striker chasing down the ball, because it tires them out and it's not what they're best at. I mean, Bradshaw will run his socks up. He will challenge and charge down anything and everything. But I'm sure if you asked him, would you rather play up top with a Matt Smith or that type of player to play off, or a second striker, and we've got wingers that are whipping that ball into the box, he'd bite your arm off. So, and I'm sure Neil's trying to address that. We've seen Neil talk in various press conferences. He wants to get players in the door. He's not going to be bullied or panicked by. He's trying to fight. He'll know in his mind what type of player he's looking for, and if and when that player comes along, I'm sure Neil will do everything within his power to get that, because he'll see that. He knows the linchpin, that number 10 role. Yes, Zian plays there, but that's not really Zian's strength. Is that, I don't know, the De Bruyne ball, if you know what I mean, that ball, or wingers whipping that ball in. So, yeah, I think they'll score goals, but they need service, whether that be Langstaff, Nisbet, or Bradders.
Could that be Malumbi?
From what I can remember of Jason, he not necessarily that player. And again, is it overkill in the midfield if Malumbi comes back? Because then you're looking at Mitchell, Saville, Honeyman, Malumbi. Who else do we have in the middle? Perhaps off the top of my head.
Denor.
Yeah, Casper. Oh, apologies, Casper, if you're listening. I do apologise. But yeah, that's how many players for 2 positions? 6? Do we need a 7th? And that's again not being disrespectful to Jason. He was a great player when he played for the club, but I just don't know if that's a position we need extra reinforcement in. Personally, I mean, if he comes back, then great. Well, let's all get behind him and let's hope that he is the one. I'm not saying he'd be a terrible signing. Of course he wouldn't. He's got a lot of quality.
Karl, stand here again, mate. It is early days in the Championship and without a ball being kicked, but I'll say that again. But who will be your promotion challengers this season and who do you think will be fighting for survival?
Good question. Unfortunately, I think Leeds will take some beating. Again, I think they'll be right up there. They're the team if you finish above them, there's a very good chance you're being promoted. Burnley will be interesting under Scott Parker. That'll be interesting to see how that develops. So I think there'll be one to keep an eye on. If Smodics goes in the transfer window, I think Blackburn are dead and buried, because without him, they'd have been long gone. Portsmouth, I think, will get away with it due to their fan base. I think they get them a lot of points. I think they'll make Fratton Park not a place you want to go to. So I think their home form will keep them up. Plymouth under Rooney, that'll be another interesting one. How will that pan out? Will that go south? Go south, there you go. That is south. But will it turn out well for him? I don't know. I hope so, because it'd be nice to see English managers doing well. It's a tough one. I said Leeds and Burnley at the top end. At the bottom, like I said, if Smodics goes, Blackburn, I would say are pretty much nailed on to be heading to League One.
Blimey. Hey, Karl, it's Henry again.
Hello.
How tactically flexible will we need to be this season? Obviously, we know that Neil Harris favours 4-4-2, but I mean, whether that's something he's going to continue to roll with. But will that be enough? You've already sort of touched on this, to be able to get the best out of our strikers.
I think it will be I think Neil will be a lot more flexible than he has been in the past. He, I think, will change it, as we've seen, playing either one up top with 3 behind. Yeah. But a lot's going to depend on injuries. And also, I think he'll change it depending on the opposition. I think that's something Neil's grown into as a manager, is to not just say, right, 4-4-2, let's go and do it Millwall's way. You'll be looking into, right, the opposition, they play with wing-backs that push up high, so do we want to do this? Can we get in behind here? How do we defend this? And I think even during games, I'm confident that Neil may well change formations if necessary. I don't think he is going to be stubborn, as in, no, this is what I've picked, this is what's going to work. And he has the adapt at the back now, because Tanganga, Coops and Ryan Leonard can play as a 3, and McNamara and Joe Bryant are more than adequate wing-backs. More than adequate wing-backs. You could easily play as a 3, and it's not a negative, because Leonard can come out from the back, knowing that Tanganga and Cooper can sit as that 2, and then the likes of Casper or Sav can drop in as Lenny pushes past them. You can flood the midfield if there's a team that likes to play through the middle. We've got the players to break that up. As I mentioned earlier on, we've got players in the midfield that can stop the opposition dominating that area. Still, as I say, going forwards, I think set pieces will be a big thing for us. We've seen these new laws about handball and this, that and the other, which again I think is purely lip service. I think it'll be exactly the same as it was, just more dafter decisions when it comes to handballs in the area. I mean, if it's not intentional, how can it be a penalty? is my simple mind on that. I don't understand how they can say a non-intentional handball will be a yellow card. Well, that's just bizarre. But that's for referees to sort out and me to moan about during the season. So, I think we'll be... set pieces will be a threat. I think we'll be set up to annoy the opposition more than anything. And a lot's going to depend in the next few weeks in the transfer window to decide for sure the sort of formation or the sort of lineup that Neil's going to go for on a, shall we say, weekly basis, or at least at home. I think at home we'll be fairly rigid, but I think away from home there'll be a lot of flexibility due to the nature of the opposition.
Yeah, no, fair.
Karl, if you do play three at the back, that's a way of having two front players, isn't it? That's the way you can get two front players. And so he hasn't done it on the pre-season at all. It's been 4-4-2 every minute. But let's wait and see what he does on Saturday and at Portsmouth. Very, very tough game before we come on air again in the middle of next week at Portsmouth. That's a very, very tough draw in the League Cup.
Yeah, well, to be fair to Neil, I thought it was 4-2-3-1 for me against Southampton. I don't think Honeyman played specifically as a striker. But I think people sometimes forget that having three at the back can actually be a positive. It's not a negative formation. It's only a negative formation if your two wing-backs become full-backs and your two holding midfielders drop back. Then yes, you can get stuck that way. But if you've got your two full-backs pushing on, you've got the likes of Leonard, whoever, driving out from the back and somebody holding back, you can very quickly turn that into a really attacking formation. And Joe Bryan and Dan, you've got plenty of legs in them to go back and forwards to do just that. So I don't think people should look at the team sheet and go, oh, God, three at the back, oh, it's going to be terrible. No. Allow the game to evolve and then decide if it's a terrible, negative, we're going nowhere formation. So no, I must admit, I'm quite a big fan. A mate of mine, Jamie, who's a Millwall fan, when I first watched Millwall, was it just purely as a commentator after about 4 or 5 games, I said, this is a side that, in my low opinion, should be a back three. I think it suits them better. But time will tell. But I think Joe Bryan and Lenny or McNamara could prove priceless for Millwall as an attacking threat.
Karl, many thanks for joining us, mate, and sharing your thoughts about Millwall and broader football matters, handball included. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on the show. But before you leave us, we've got a new prediction league. We want now to predict 3 scores in the Championship from this week. These results will be collated at the end of the season, and we'll know who of our guest hosts, panel and regular reporters are the best score predictors of the season. I know Jeff wants to win this. So here we go. Can I get your prediction for QPR versus Rotherham? QPR versus West Brom, please.
I was about to say QPR Rotherham's going to be an interesting one. QPR West Brom, QPR at home, we'll go 1-0 West Brom.
Leeds versus Portsmouth now, please.
3-1 Leeds.
The last one is obviously Millwall versus Watford.
No. I'll go 2-0 Millwall.
2-0 Millwall, love that. All right then, lovely. Thanks, Karl.
Would I have said anything else? We'd have been playing Real Madrid. I'd go, yeah, I fancy it. Goops, 1-0. Yeah, no problem.
Wouldn't that be nice? Well, Karl, we look forward to talking to you in the early new year. In the meantime, all the best to you and yours.
Yeah, thank you very much. And as always, thank you for having me.
And enjoy Bovril on Saturday with Max.
Oh, damn right.
Very good to see you in the press box, mate.
Yeah, yes. I think Bovril in 28 degrees in August. The correct drink.
Trust. Oh, it's still happening. Don't you worry.
Well, thanks a lot.
No worries. Take care, guys.
Yeah. See you, Karl.
Take care. See you, Karl.
Bye.
We'll take a break there and hear about Harvey's Den Cafe.
Hi Ellie, lovely to see you here up in Harvey's Den again. And of course you've taken over from the Brown family. Cafe that they have here is just wonderful. Millwall shirts on the chairs, blue and white tablecloths, blue chairs, and all you guys in Millwall kit.
Of course.
Tell me, what goes on? When are you here? What can we expect?
We're here Monday to Friday from 10:30 till 5 every day, open to the public. Everyone's welcome. We're open every match day from 11:30 till 2:30. We've got a new family, a new little CAF team, and the girls up here are all lovely and friendly.
So who are the girls that are up here?
We've got myself, Ellie, of course, and then we've got Nicole, who works during the week. We've got Michelle, who also works during the week. She's lovely. And Lena, who works on a match day. And my mum, Ellen, who's very well known.
Very well known.
She also helps out in here from time to time. So we've got a lovely little family team.
To look after the community. Exactly. Wonderful stuff. So what's on offer at the cafe these days?
We've got everything from chicken burgers to paninis to full breakfasts, tea, coffee, hot chocolate, soft drinks, snacks, everything you could need.
So it's all here, all available, a great team to serve it up to you. Well, what else can I say but carry on in Harvey's style here at Harvey's Den Cafe, and all the best to you, Ellie, and your team, and I look forward to coming up and enjoying some of the fare in not the far distant future. Well, in fact, I've already done that. The coffee is just superb. Thanks, Ellie.
Thanks, Eamon.
Now then, let's hear it from Ellis Barr.
Hello, Ellis here, and I'm glad to be back talking about Millwall. I know many have watched my videos, so you will all know that I don't wear splints as much anymore. Thanks for your support along the way. It is now time to hear what all the Millwall teams are up to. Come on, Millwall!
Thanks as always, Ellis. First up, let's hear from Paul Loding, Millwall Romans and Pride General Manager. He's got an update and predictions for our new prediction league.
Hi everybody, it's Paul Loding at the Millwall Romans. It's great to be back. Welcome back to everybody, and great to get the season underway this weekend. Just a quick update from the Romans from last season. Pride obviously did really well last year. Managed to get into the semi-final of the Shield, LUL Shield, and then succumbed on penalties, unfortunately, to Barnstormers, a newbie in the league last year. The Romans season went all the way till pretty much mid-June, with the Romans winning the London Unity League Division 1 and their last game of the season, and also securing the London Unity League Cup this year, which has just been brought back after a bit of a rest after the last few years. So they finished really high, unfortunately, getting knocked out in the semi-finals of the GFSN Cup, which is our aim for this year, to win the treble. So yeah, good season all round from all teams. So the Romans and Pride, we haven't really had a break from the season. We've been training throughout. Our season doesn't start in the London Unity League until the 1st of September. The GFSN Cup draw was drawn this week as well. We are facing London Falcons in the first round, which is a tough opponent. We're playing them away over in West London. That probably be towards the end of September. And in August, we've got friendlies dotted along over the next few weeks. The first one is this Sunday, where Romans take on AFC Muswell Hill, 12:30 kickoff, and Pride will be kicking off about 3:30 against the second team of AFC Muswell Hill. And so that's Sunday afternoon at St Paul's. And good luck to the start of the season for the Millwall team kicking off this Saturday. I remember the game we came to watch Millwall Watford. I think it was back in the end of 22 in about October time, and Tom Bradshaw scoring a hat-trick. So I'm going to say that Millwall are going to start the season off as they mean to go on. I'm going to say 3-0 to Millwall. QPR West Brom, I think QPR are going to nick that 1-0. And Leeds Portsmouth, I think Leeds are going to win that 4-0.
Thanks very much, Paul. 3-0 Millwall. Wow, fair enough. Jeff Burnige, could you update us on the Millwall Lionesses, please, mate?
Yes, I'm happy to do that. The team under Alex Russell and Adam Rowland, two proper Millwall fans, co-managers of that team, they've been back in training since the start of July. Training's been a bit it's been a bit upset by having different venues, but the season starts on Sunday week. This coming Sunday is our last game of the pre-season away to Actonians over at Gunnersbury Park in West London. They don't sound like a big club, but they are a big club, and they're in the National League. That'll be a tough last game. And then we start the league season at home to Saltdean at St Paul's, 1 o'clock kickoff on the 18th of August.
Fantastic. So then, Watford come to the Den on Saturday, and it's a chance for Neil Harris and his boys to open the 2024-25 season with a win, hopefully. That's what Karl Bates and Paul Loding have predicted. Millwall to win at 6-5, a draw is 21-10, and a win for Watford is 2-1. How do we see this one going, and what score prediction would you guys make? Jeff, we'll start with you.
1-0.
To Millwall, I presume?
Yeah.
Henry, how about you, mate?
I think 2-1 Millwall.
And how about you, Stan?
I'll go 3-1 Millwall.
Oh.
Well, that'll be entertaining.
I was going to say, where are them 3 goals coming from?
Well, who knows? But that will remain to be seen. But no, I don't know. I just think we will. But hopefully we will. Oh well, even if we don't, if we get the 3 points, that'd do for me. But and the icing on the cake would be if it was my score. But anyway, no, that's my view. 3-1, I reckon.
We've got a tough start, so it'd be lovely to start with 3 points from the home.
Yeah. So yeah, it's, so far so good. All wins so far so good. I'm going to carry that on, and I'm going to go with Jeff. 1-0 Millwall. So then, QPR versus West Brom. Jeff, can I get your prediction for that one?
1-0.
Are they all 1-0? What about Leeds versus Portsmouth?
1-0. I'm going for the statistically most common result because I'm determined to win this prediction.
Mm-hmm.
I've won nothing for decades, so I've set my stall out for this one.
Fair enough. So 1-0 to all. Who's going to win the other two, mate?
Oh, home games. QPR,
okay,
Leeds,
fair
Millwall.
Henry, what about you? What would you go for QPR versus West Brom?
QPR West Brom. I'll go. I think 1-0 QPR. I think that might be a bit of a upset. You never know on the first day. It's at that poxy shoebox of a ground. Yeah, 1-0 QPR.
And Stan, how about you, mate?
Well, I'll go for a 1-1 draw.
Fair enough. And then Leeds versus Portsmouth, please, Stan.
Well, that could be interesting. That I'll go for a draw on that. 1-1.
1-1. And Henry, what about you, mate?
Leeds Portsmouth.
Yeah.
I would go. I think 3-1 Leeds.
So Watford Millwall. Obviously, I've said 1-0 Millwall. For QPR West Brom, yeah, I'm going to go 1-0 QPR as well. Yeah, I'm going to go. Yeah. And then for Leeds versus Portsmouth, sorry, Pompey fans, I'm going to go 3-0 Leeds. We will we'll take a break there and listen to Harvey Brown talking about the Lions Food Hub.
Hi, Harvey Brown here. I am proud of the Lions Food Hub, which is jointly owned by Kelly and Ellen Webster, and they have been supporting families within our community for over 2 years on Millwall match days. If you would like to donate to them, they have a matchday donation hub at the SE16 bar at Colblow Lane, end of the ground, where they accept any food or money and toiletry donations. If you can help, any donations will be received with thanks.
I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Jeff Burnige, Stan Godwin and Henry Morgan. Donations will make a significant difference if you can support the Lions Food Hub. Okay then, tonight our second guest continues to be described as having more energy than a Duracell bunny, and that view has expanded amazingly during the closed season. He is the only man who continues to lead the ever-increasing responses from the Millwall Community Trust. Yes, it's their CEO, Sean Daly. Hello Sean, you up, mate?
Yes, good evening, Myles. How are you?
Good, thanks, mate. Good, thanks.
All right, Sean.
Evening, Sean.
Evening, Sean.
Good morning, all. Or afternoon, sorry, evening. Got it all wrong there.
Sean, it's great to have you on the show, mate, for the new season. What are your primary objectives for season 24-25?
I think it's always been the same with the Community Trust. We want to be the best we can. The environment's changed very much in the last few months, with a new government in, new leadership at the club as well. So I think our objectives are going to be very much about what the needs of the community are going to be, and how we can put Millwall first in all of them. So whether it is, getting people into work, whether it's feeding children on holiday camps or mentoring young people in gangs and that, whatever the change is going to be or whatever's going to come, we've got to be in a good place, our community trust, to help and develop that. We're working very closely with Lewisham Council at the moment on their strategy. So that's a big piece of work. But I just want us to be the best we can, really, and just get everyone to sort of know what Millwall are around and how much we respect and love our community and how much impact we're going to do, really.
Sean, it's Jeff Burnige here. Sean,
hi, Jeff.
Lovely to speak to you again. I'm a particular admirer of what you do in the summer holidays, these summer camps, and you're still, once again, running that free of charge holiday activity and food camp alongside Fisher FC as well. They're involved in it this year. That taking place at St Paul's Sports Ground, Rotherhithe, where Fisher play and where the Millwall Lionesses play their games. This cements a growing relationship with the Fish. How is this going? And also tell us about the Kellogg's sponsorship at Rotherhithe and other locations where you are holding summer camps.
Yeah, well, lucky enough, we went for the tender for St Paul's, and we've just got another 5 years running that facilities, which is really Fisher's home. Very much my view on the whole operation of having St Paul's is that we've got to get Fisher in a good place in 5 years' time to take over the actual environment, to take over St Paul's and be in a place where they can run it. They become the landlords and we become tenants. If they're not in that position to do it in 5 years' time, not a problem. We will continue, but we will support Fisher in that. I love them as a club. I just love the concept of fans owning a club, fans dictating how the club is going to be run. And, we sponsor their second kit, their third kit. I sponsor all their footballs. I just love it as just a great club. So if we are now going to do stuff at St Paul's and in Rotherhithe, it needs to be joint. I need to help them develop their own community. I need to get the community coming into St Paul's and spending money with Fisher to get them into that position in 5 years' time to take it over. So our first step was we've got the tender for the next 5 years. We will work with Fisher to develop their own community scheme and develop themselves to get in there. So my first thing was we're running holiday camps again. This is our 5th year of running holiday camps where we don't charge the kids and we feed them. It's not a nice thing to do because I don't want kids to be like that. We'd love the environment to be totally different, that they don't have to rely on holiday camps and free food. But it's got to be done jointly with Fisher. So everything we're going to do around community work, we're going to do with Fisher, and hopefully set up a Millwall and a Fisher community scheme that will deliver and support Rotherhithe, but mostly get people in to watch Fisher play and to get them in to watch Millwall. And with the Kellogg's have become the national sponsor of the EFL. And what they done, and I don't know if you remember a few years ago, they did a big swimming campaign where you could go for swimming lessons during the summer and learn how to swim by taking a voucher off their breakfast pack. Well, they've come to the EFL and they said, look, we'd like to sponsor it. What we want to do is we want to run camps, Kellogg's camps, where children can come for a day free of charge with a professional football club and learn about football. So we're running about 9 venues in Kent, and we've got every week at either the Lion Centre or Fisher during the 6 weeks of the holidays. And the idea again is they pick up a pack, there's a voucher on there, they register and they get a free day at a holiday camp.
Very good.
Sean, Stan here, mate.
Hiya, Stan.
How are you? All right?
Yeah, very well, sir.
Good. How are the Millwall Lionesses Academy sides building towards their new season following their trials back in May? And have many new players been recruited? And how is each side's development supported, mate?
The Girls Academy has always been something that the Trust love, because we were an RTC a few years back, but we decided that we'd have our own Girls Academy and would play in the same leagues as the RTC, etc. But we would look at getting young girls from Lewisham and Southwark to represent. So it's gone well. We've got a 12s, 14s, 16s and 18s team again. They'll again play in the JPL. We have had trials. We've now opened a player development centre for female players, ranging from 6 years old up to 16, which is like underneath the academy, but giving these girls some good coaching. And then when gaps come in our academy, like for a 12-year-old, we can actually push those girls in to take those places. But we're looking at about 16 players for each age group at the moment, going very well. They've just started back into training this week, looking for their new season in the JPL. But it's one that we'd love to have more teams there, but it's the same as everything. There's not enough space at St Paul's. There's not enough space around the area to have more teams and develop. So, we'd love the council to build more AstroTurfs or the football foundation to build it so there's more playing opportunities for young people, especially teams. But no, it's going very well.
Hey, Sean, it's Henry here, mate. It's great to talk to you again, pal. At the recent Den Forum, it was disclosed by Mark Fairbrother, and I quote, "There is a lot of cost with the training ground. We have planning permission for certain design, but the cost is around £50 million, and we can't just ask the Berylson family to give us that." So I understand more surveys are going to be done for the future plans, but will that amazing work that's happening up there impact the work of the Trust?
We were very committed about that. If a training ground was going to be built in West Kingsdown, the Community Trust was going to be involved in it. The club have used the Community Trust well to leverage planning permission for Sevenoaks, and we said from the word go that the special reason that they were able to build on green land is the work the Community Trust would bring into the area. We're still committed to that. I haven't stopped doing stuff in Sevenoaks because the training ground hasn't started being built. That was never going to be. Steve Kavanagh all the way through it said that we don't have to do any community work in the area of Sevenoaks until we took allocation of the building, until we moved in. But he wanted so much to show the impact that the Trust could do and the commitment of the club for Sevenoaks. So this summer, for instance, we've been doing some estate leagues in Sevenoaks, which was around the council getting us into hotspot areas in Sevenoaks, around Swanley, Edenbridge and Longfield, to go and do work around 6, 7 o'clock at night, free football coaching, free matches for children. And we were seeing roughly about 300 children a week on that.
Blimey. Not surprised, though, to be fair.
Yeah, and we've got a great fan base out there. So
we do.
That's happened out there. Steve committed to that, and we will continue. We're doing 9 free holiday camps, which is down to Kellogg's in Kent. We didn't have to take those free camps. We could have done them in London, but we decided our commitment is we want to develop new fan base in Sevenoaks and in West Kingsdown. If they're going to build that stadium up to 30,000, to fill that stadium, those fans need to come from somewhere. They've got to come from Kent. So we've got to get our faces out there. And with the training ground, when it was first quoted, the world has changed a lot, hasn't it, since then, Cost has gone up to build stuff. I don't know. I'm not privileged to know what the training ground would cost to build there. As far as I know, they are committed to building that training ground. And that is what has been told to the council and still being told to the council. I haven't been told at any time to stop doing work in Kent. I've got Kent Cricket at the moment who want to do a joint venture with us, delivering cricket and football in Kent, because they haven't got the coaches and they haven't got the skill set to engage people, but they know the Millwall Community Trust has. So we will continue. It will not stop our work down there unless I'm told any different. I'm committed to that area, as Steve was when he was here. He was committed to it, and he could have waited till we were in there, but he said he's not. I want you out there doing work again. So we will continue it. You know, our fan base are going to come from there. That's where it's going to come from for that 30,000 stadium.
Yeah, it's brilliant, mate. Cheers for the update.
Well, Sean, thank you for coming on to the show this evening. We look forward to hear to your monthly contributions every month. But before you leave us, we have a new prediction league. We'll ask you to predict. I'm sure you've been briefed. We'll ask you to predict 3 scores in the Championship. These results will be collated at the end of the season, and we'll know who of our guests, panel, and regular reporters are the best score predictors of the season.
Is there a winning prize?
That's what I want to know, because this is... Yeah. So we'll start with it then. Millwall versus Watford. What are you going to say about that one?
I think it'd be quite a nervy game. It'd be great to come back to the stadium and football to get going. I could see it being a draw. 1-1.
1-1. I'll take it. QPR versus West Brom.
QPR, I think, have made some good buys this year. West Brom, not sure what's going on there at the moment, but again, I think that's going to be a close one. I think a draw for them as well, possibly 2-2.
Okay. And Leeds versus Portsmouth, please, mate.
Yeah, I think Leeds will win it. I think probably 2-0. Portsmouth, I went to the Charlton game when they played a friendly last week. I thought they struggled a little bit. And I think they're coming into the league, and Leeds are going to be, rocked a little bit bad, not going up, but I can see Leeds beating them about 2-0.
Well, Sean, thank you very much, mate.
No, thank you very much, everybody. Have a good weekend.
Yeah, and you, Sean.
Yeah, take care, Sean, mate.
Thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Care. All the best, Sean.
Thanks.
We'll take a break there and listen to Bethany Mangtelo explain how you can support the Millwall Community Trust.
The Millwall Community Trust, something that I, Bethany Mangtelo, admire for all that it does. The Trust was established in 1985, works to provide sporting, education, social and healthy lifestyle opportunities to the local community in Southwark, Lewisham, North Kent and the wider community. Its work is targeted at people of all ages, irrespective of race, gender or sexual orientation, and runs programmes aimed at tackling social exclusion, racism, knife crime, lack of employment opportunities for young people, mental health and disability issues. The Trust aims to be a progressive and campaigning charity that makes a difference to ordinary people's lives. Its work is undeniably essential to the local community. They have sponsorship opportunities to support this work. Email commercial@millwallcommunity.org.uk. I'll say that again. That is email commercial@millwallcommunity.org.uk. Please help if you can.
So I'm your host, Myles Thornton, and with me I have the Millwall Lionesses talking team of Jeff Burnige, Stan Godwin and Henry Morgan. If you can donate, you will help our Millwall Community Trust to deliver all of their programmes across all age groups to people within our community. Well, we're all looking forward to that game against Watford, but in the meantime, here are a few matters of interest for Millwall fans and those interested in football.
Millwall will travel to Portsmouth for a Carabao Cup first round tie on Tuesday, August the 13th. Kick-off at 7:45 p.m. and the tickets are now on sale to season ticket holders. Season and licensed standing tickets are priced at £12 adults, £10 over 65s, £10 18 to 22-year-olds, a £5 for under 18s and £1 for under 14s. Wheelchair and ambulant disabled supporters need to call 020 7740 3470 to book tickets between 9:30am to 5pm Monday to Thursday and at 9:30am till 4pm on Fridays. Under 14 tickets need to be purchased with an adult senior ticket. Tickets will go off sale at 2 o'clock on Monday the 12th August. We have had an initial allocation of 1,000 tickets.
Perfect. Right. Are you a qualified coach? Our Millwall Community Trust is hiring a football and sports development officer. Your primary goal will revolve around expanding football developments, offering and managing MCT's player performance pathway centres, soccer schools and holiday camps. If this sounds like a job for you, you can find further details and an application form in the club's website news section. The closing date is Friday, August the 23rd.
Millwall are looking for organised, dedicated and hard-working volunteers to join the Academy recruitment team. The successful candidates will be remunerated through a bonus scheme. They will work within the recruitment department and support the Academy's search for local talent. You can find further details and an application form on the club's website news section. The closing date is very soon, Friday the 16th of August, but you can always get your application in as quickly as possible.
Don't forget you'll be able to listen to the No One Likes Us Talking team, bring reports from our games, both home and away, for Lions, Lionesses, Romans and Pride, and also updates on Millwall Community Matters too, broadcasting on 96.5 FM. I'll also be in attendance in the press box at the Den representing Maritime Radio, and you can get live updates from me over on that on 96.5 FM and Maritime Radio. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook and X, formerly Twitter, YouTube, Tumblr, Instagram and all popular podcast sites. Cheers, Stan.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
Cheers, Jeff.
Good night, Myles. Good night, everybody.
And thanks and welcome back, Henry.
Cheers, Myles. Cheers, boys. Have a good evening.
Cheers. Yeah, and you.
Finally, let's not forget to keep it safe on the streets out there. Thanks for listening. Good night.
Our Millwall Fan Show is sponsored by G&M Motors of Gravesend, Honda dealers and much more. Thank you.